All right, I know. We're doing PragerU multiple times in a very short period of time, but I promise this one's going to be worth covering, okay? And of course, PragerU is always good content. PragerU is always good content, but this one's not really going to be much of a political debunk video. This is going to be a little bit different because today we're watching a bit of an older PragerU video. Not too old, but it's a little old. It's a little off-brand. It's gone off a bit. From February 10th, 2020. Dating. Don't waste your time. That's right. We got ourselves a dating advice video from PragerU. When I found out this existed, I could not resist covering it. I'm sorry. I was attracted to it like a woman is attracted to a based Sigma male gamer. You know, it was irresistible. So we're going to hop right into it, and it's going to be some good shit, I think. I think we're going to get some good, well, not good takes, but some good bad takes from this that'll be really fun to pick apart and make fun of.
Women, here's a revolutionary idea.
Women are bad. Based.
Date with a purpose. What purpose? Getting married. Whoa, am I moving too fast for you? Making you uncomfortable?
Hi, Lauren Chen. How you doing? Wow, okay. Internet, you good? Chrome, you doing all right? I guess Chrome's shitting itself right now, but that's fine. We can still say what we're saying here. All right. I'm very curious to find out what dating with the purpose of getting married means. So if you're dating, chances are you're looking for, I use dating to mean as in like you are in a relationship or looking for a relationship with someone. You're probably doing it with the goal of finding someone who is your soulmate, right? Like someone who you love enough and that loves you enough that you could have like that very long-term, very special relationship that gets to the point of getting married, right? However, at least in my case, I don't really plan to get married. Marriage as a concept, like the idea of having a wedding and like the legal stuff and just the whole ordeal sounds fucking annoying to me. Like, I don't want to do that shit. If I love someone, nothing about getting like an expensive ring and having a ceremony to claim, yeah, we're married. It's like we're super dating, you know? Nothing about that changes the relationship for me. If you want to get married and that's special to you, that's fine. Go for it. Yeah, absolutely. But obviously, and this should go without saying, and I would be very surprised if Lauren Chen tries to deny this reality in this PragerU video, dating is very important. You do not want to go straight into a marriage with someone because then there's sort of the implication that you're kind of fucking stuck there. And I can't imagine living in a miserable, loveless marriage where we hate each other or we rushed into the marriage and are not compatible with each other and realize that too late after the honeymoon phase is sort of, past, right? That's gotta fucking suck, dude. I don't know if I'd be able to do it. The point of dating, at least in my opinion, has always been to sort of be in a it's like a trial, right? It's like the free trial for marriage a lot of the time is I think how a lot of people see it. And I don't know, I think it's completely acceptable. Chrome?
Well,
you good?
dating. Hookups, casual flings, having fun. Yeah? Who said so? Don't get me wrong, I'm all for fun.
Wait, that's not what dating is, though. What? That's not what dating is, for the most part, at least.
Oh, hookups, casual flings, having fun. Yeah.
So, hookups, casual flings, and having fun, and what we can imagine that refers to, that's just hooking up. That's not dating. Obviously, if you're dating someone, then chances are you're fucking. But when I think of hookups and casual flings, I think of like yeah, we're not like in a relationship, but we fuck sometimes. Me and her, we're not in a relationship. We aren't dating or anything, but sometimes we're sitting around and we're bored or we're hanging out, and I just put my dick in her for a couple hours, and it's a fun time, and then we're just bros. We're fuck buddies. That's what I imagine when I think of flings and hookups. And having fun. I think Lauren is misusing the word dating here, because when I imagine dating, I think of like a committed relationship where you are like together, unless you're polyamorous to some exclusive degree, right? Like it's beyond the point of like you flirt a little bit and maybe you've been on one or two dates, but you're not Facebook official yet,
Yeah? Who said so? Don't get me wrong, I'm all for fun.
Nobody.
But I'm interested in something deeper here. Like,
All for fun, huh? All right, Lauren. All right. I see you. Okay. All right. I see you.
happiness. I'm certainly not saying that marriage should be the first topic of conversation. At least wait until the pizza is served. Just kidding. But I am saying that you need to ask yourself this question. Why do you want to go on a date with someone? Physical attraction? That's important. Common interest in
Sure.
something? Also important. But
Sure.
what else? Let's face it, most of the time we, and by we here I'm referring to women, have no idea. We have no plan. That's
So that's a lot of why dating is so important, I think. Most people don't end up marrying or staying with for the rest of their lives the first person they date, or the second, or the third, or even the fourth. Most people, like, by the time they find like the person they end up marrying or end up being in like the relationship that they're in for the rest or most part of their lives, like the really long term one that lasts years or decades or even up till marriage, usually that relationship is like the fourth or fifth that they've been in, and a lot of this has to do with, if you're a young dude or girl or whatever, you don't really know what you want. Young people, and I hate to say it, but young people are immature and shallow and just, they really don't have their shit together. I don't have my shit together, chat. I can't drive yet. I don't have my license. I don't know how to drive. I can drive a golf cart. I haven't had the chance to get to it, partly because of COVID and all that, and the moving out to California. I haven't had the chance to do that yet. I'm fairly financially stable for my age, but I'm not all the way there, right? My sleep schedule is degenerate as fuck, But I found someone that, at least at this point in my life, me and Lonnie are very compatible with each other, and we really love each other. Will that relationship last forever? I mean, I don't like thinking about it ending, but I mean, I can't imagine that my first long-term real adult relationship's going to be the one, like that would be pretty surprising. I'm sure at some point something will happen and we'll probably break up, and I'll probably have future girlfriends, realistically, statistically considering it. And that's because as I get older, my preferences are going to change, my priorities are going to change, my understanding of other human beings is going to change. How many times, you guys in chat, how many times have you been in a relationship with somebody, or maybe not how many times, but how many of you in chat have been in a relationship with someone at some point in your life and it went horribly, and what you learned about that person helped you spot and avoid red flags from other people in the future? Because that's a huge part of it. That's a huge part of why dating's so important. Sometimes it takes some trial and error to learn about how people act so that you can kind of know whether or not the person that, you're with in the future, who might be the one you want to marry, whatever, to make sure they don't have, a field of red flags between you and that goal that maybe you should consider before, shacking up with this person for, legally, and I guess if you're religious, spiritually, for, possibly the rest of your life,
Okay as far as it goes, but as far as it goes is not very far and frankly not very smart. But let's play out the scenario. We too often assume that relationships have levels of commitment, progressing, if they progress at all, like video games. A hookup is level 1, dating is level 2, level 3 living together.
Lauren! Hold on! Lauren, a hookup is level 1? Lauren. Listen, all right? Maybe we do a little trolling and we drop into Lauren Chen's DMs, okay? Maybe we do a little trolling, all right? Because I'm learning some things here, okay? I'm learning some things. And frankly, I'm intrigued. But no, obviously, when it comes to dating, typically, at least in my experience, level 1 is not hooking up. Level 1 is usually meeting and getting to know that person. Maybe like going on like a date, like a very like innocent, like, oh, we're hanging out, or maybe we see a movie or something kind of date. Level 2 is usually like kissing, holding hands, and like getting intimate, like beyond just like infatuation, and like being interested in each other and like spending some time together to the point where you're actually intimate. And I would argue level 3, at least if you're an adult and you have the means to do so, and you're not like obviously if you're a teenager, it doesn't work out as well depending on your circumstances, then hooking up may be the case. And usually the more exclusive, like we're Facebook official in a relationship, usually branches off from that, right? Like, at least in my experience, hookups generally didn't happen until like after we knew each other for at least like a little bit, like a week maybe. I've never done hookups. I've never, no girl I've ever fucked hasn't been a friend of mine for some period of time before the fucking. So no, hooking up is usually not like level 1 of dating.
And then, after we've had those, maybe we're ready for marriage. But in fact, relationships usually don't progress that way. Hookups arise out of whim, impulse, or simple attraction. Dating is often based on compatibility or convenience, and sometimes on the hope that something serious might develop. Living together may be based on real love and a tryout for marriage, but it can also be based on less serious considerations like lack of other opportunities, desire for a roommate, or the inability to afford a single apartment. But marriage is a different enterprise entirely.
It's capitalism.
Those looking for a good marriage are looking for someone who wants to build a shared life. They're looking for someone who shares their values and beliefs, moral, political, and, where applicable, religious. They view each other not only as a partner.
That's not necessarily true. Wait, this actually reminds me. This is kind of off of topic, but I thought it was very funny. As I said before, I've started watching 60 Days In, which is a show where like random civilians, it's a reality show where random civilians are sort of like given fake identities and sent into the prison system to spend 60 days in prison under like surveillance. And the reality show is how these people who aren't really criminals, who have fake backstories, who are trying to infiltrate the prison population and experience what it's like for 60 days, just to see what it's like for them, right? And it's a very interesting show. Really enjoy it. One of the people in the first season, which I'm watching right now, is the very young, literally the blonde trad wife meme, Wojak. Literally that. She got pregnant with her husband, who was her first boyfriend, in college. Then they got married. Now she's a trad wife, stay-at-home mom. The husband is is ex-military. And I thought this is hysterical because I think it's a very good demonstration of how values don't necessarily need to line up. Where she's the one that's in prison, doing the show, and one of the other people who are also in prison doing the show, only they don't know that both of them are part of the program and aren't real convicts. One of them, who happens to be Muhammad Ali's daughter, by the way. yeah, I don't know, crazy fucking coincidence, draws a picture that has a foot stomping the American flag. And this makes the military trad wife mother get really upset and really offended about it. So she starts a fuss about it, and everyone's like, what are you making such a big deal about? What are you like, why are you so mad? So she goes to the phone and calls her husband, the veteran husband, saying, this fucking lady, she made a picture of a black foot stepping on the American flag. It's so disrespectful. You served this country, and that's so disrespectful for you. And the husband's just like, please don't make a big deal about it. It's called freedom of speech. That, like, it's not a big deal. Like, I'm not offended. Please don't get mad about it. Just stay low and just ignore it. And she's like, I really just, it's so insensitive and offensive. And he's just like, it's called freedom of speech. The fucking veteran husband is roasting his trad wife over the phone for being triggered over, she didn't know this, but Muhammad Ali's daughter drawing a picture of a black foot crushing the American flag in the prison cell there. So I found that as you know, that little bit about sharing values and religiosity and what have you kind of brought that back up to me, because I thought it was very funny. And I just saw that last night, and I laughed my fucking ass off that the veteran husband was roasting his wife for being anti-free speech, as in being against defacing the flag, because in this country, we have the right to do that. We have the right to deface the American flag.
Partner, but as something even more profound, husband and wife. The problem with so many dating relationships is that people enter them with completely different understandings of what the ideal outcome should be. He wants X and she wants Y, and it's easy to get distracted and fooled by superficial compatibility.
Does Lauren think that marriage will fix this to any degree whatsoever? The way you solve this problem is by engaging in healthy communication. Like, if me and Lonnie ever have a problem, I just tell her we've got a problem and we got to talk about it. Like, hey, I don't like when you do this. And she does the same for me. If I do something that annoys her, like taking a long time to take out the trash after she asks me to, that's a big one. That's a big one she gets upset at me about, taking out the trash when it needs to be taken out and she asks me to do it. You know, she'll just be like, Alex, it's been 2 days. We've got 4 full trash bags sitting by the door. You need to take out the trash. And I'll be like, can I please do it later? And she'll be like, no, because you'll forget about it. And then 2 days later, we'll have more trash bags you need to take out. And I'll be like, fuck. All right. And I'll get up and I'll take out the trash. And it's dealt with, right? I feel like this problem would be exacerbated by marriage, you know? Like, if you've got 2 people who have different objectives going into a relationship and they end up getting married, even if they're both in favor of being married, they just have different things in the relationship that they strive for, they're looking forward to. Fuck. That sucks. Now they're locked in on paper legally. You know, it's not as simple as just breaking up and you know, a relationship being over. It's a whole getting divorced. That's a whole thing, especially if you're a man. PragerU knows this, by the way. They've talked about how unfair family courts are to men, and they are. And guess what? That's a feminist issue, because the inequality in family courts that disproportionately affects men in a negative way comes from the stereotypes about men being like angry, evil, violent, hyper masculine people, while women are these like soft, gentle caregivers who should be barefoot in the kitchen making pies for their husband and their 2.5 kids, you know, the 2 kids and a baby and a dog and their white picket fence. That idea, that stereotype, that expectation is what causes those problems in family courts. The reason why so many abusive mothers and like shitty women are able to get away with all that terrible stuff. It's because the courts kind of have that bias of that cringy stereotype that feminism and generally just progressive people fight against.
They're thrilled they both like kombucha, kayaking, and karaoke on the weekends. That's all great, but when do you get down to the stuff that really matters over the long run? Stuff like marriage, family, faith, and values. I say the sooner the better. If a relationship looks like
PragerU knows their audience. I like that they just sort of go in with it like faith, you know, like not everybody's religious, PragerU. Not everyone's religious.
it has a future, talk about it early on. And if it doesn't look like it has a future, what are you doing in it? I have no doubt the reason so many women get stuck in dead-end relationships is that it has become taboo, or to be precise, not politically correct, for a woman to articulate what she really wants, which takes me back to marriage and why women crave it. Here are 3 reasons: protection, commitment, love. Nothing wrong with
Nothing about marriage ensures protection, commitment, and love. Nothing about that whatsoever. I could propose to Lonnie right now. She would probably say, why the fuck are you proposing to me? No, stop. You're being cringe. That's probably what she would say, because she doesn't want to ever get married to anybody, nor do I really. And we both talked about that. We've both been very clear about that. But I could do that, and let's say she says yes, and I am not memeing, and we decide to go through with it. Nothing about us being married would increase the amount of, I guess, protection. I guess women are so afraid of the world that they need protection from men, which, I mean, is partly true. I mean, there's a reason why if a creepy dude hits on a girl at a bar, she'll usually say, I've got a boyfriend over, I'm not interested, because men are more likely to respect another man owning that woman, essentially, at least in their mind, than they are to respect the consent and the comfort of a woman, right? This is true. This is why, let's be honest, chat. This is true. This is why, if you're a woman and a guy hits on you, you usually don't say, I'm not interested. You usually say, I have a boyfriend, even if it's not true. Because you know that that guy will probably respect, I have a boyfriend, more than they'll respect, I'm not interested. We all know it's true. And you guys following me? Is this true? Hypers in chat if this is correct. I want to see the hypers train. Hypers in chat if I am 100% spot on with this. I want to see that combo. I want to see that. God damn it, burn the banana. Why do you not check to see if there's a combo going before you type? Regardless, quite a few people broke that combo. All right, let's continue.
love. Nothing wrong with wanting those things. It is something women have wanted and great societies have valued for thousands of years. It is something men still want too. Little wonder study after study shows that those in good marriages are happier, healthier.
When PragerU says study after study shows blank, remember, they don't cite their sources and they're lying. It's actually phenomenal. The way that PragerU likes to demonstrate data is unmarked, unlabeled graphs that mean absolutely nothing. I think my favorite example of this is the unmarked graph that was literally like uncited and everything that said, data shows that as a country becomes more socialist or communist, the happiness of its people goes down. And you got like the red line showing happy, like communism. So like when communism and socialism goes up, then you've got the other line and it's blue and it's like happiness of its people goes down. And there's like the X and Y axis aren't labeled. There's no citation. There's no labeling of units of happiness or units of socialism. That's the kind of like data and citations that PragerU likes to do. So just thought for anyone watching this that could be new to the PragerU takedown videos, that's, you know, a bit of a PragerU 101 intro to their citation of sources and data.
Even wealthier than those who are not. Like anything you want, you have to work toward it. And anything that isn't moving you toward your goal.
That's true. In the 1 or 2 times in which we found a PragerU video that actually cited data, by the way, to find PragerU's sources, when they do use sources, they don't put them in the description or the comments. You have to go to the video on their website, then click a different link to go to their citations. And usually their citations are either themselves, a book, or op-ed by the person presenting the video, or presenting like the topic in the video. So like, I bet if we went to that for this video, if there was one, the top source would be probably an article or video made by Lauren Chen. And then if they do cite a legitimate study, the study debunks and disproves the argument that they're making. So their own sources tend to debunk them when they do use actual sources.
Is a waste of time. What's the difference between living with someone and marriage? It's the difference between referring to the man in your life as my boyfriend, significant other, or partner, and referring to him as my husband, and him referring to you as my wife, as compared with my girlfriend. Ask anyone who has taken the plunge and they'll tell you, living together and marriage have little in common. It's sort of like the difference between living in a country and being a citizen of that country. The latter...
I'm sorry, I'm calling complete bullshit on that. Do we have any married people in chat? Hyper's in chat if you're married, and just go ahead and let me know if this is true. Because granted, I'm in a long-term relationship. Me and my girlfriend live together. We've been together for... Fuck, how long's it been? It's my longest relationship in my whole life, and my first serious relationship of adulthood, frankly. We started dating in November 2019, and we are now in July 2021, so 2 years now, roughly. Good amount of time, and we've been living together for almost a year now. So, yeah. I don't know. Do we have any married people in here? We got one person. It's different if you grew up being told it was going to be different and you convince yourself that it's different. Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with, like, placebo, you know? Like, let's say I... Okay. Let's say I give you a pair of running shoes, and I'm like, bro, these running shoes are fucking nuts, dude. Holy shit. These will make you run so fast. You are going to run ridiculously fast. It's going to take you longer to get tired. You're going to have more, like, stamina. It's going to be awesome. But in reality, they're just some normal sneakers. Functionally the same as the ones that you're already wearing. Then you put on those sneakers, assuming you believe my claims, you're probably, due to the placebo effect, going to perform better in that run than you would have previously with the old shoes, simply because of the fact that you've tricked yourself into believing that you now have some kind of competitive advantage that is improving your performance. I think it has a lot to do with that. If you've been convinced your entire life that marriage is the real deal, it's real different than just being in a relationship together, then you're going to act that out. You're going to act differently and think about your relationship differently because you've been conditioned to. But if you've been conditioned to take dating seriously, like I do, then chances are dating and being married aren't going to be that different, because functionally you took your relationship when you were just dating just as seriously as you do when you're married. Just being boyfriend and girlfriend doesn't give an excuse to cheat or to take things less seriously or to do something bad that marriage prevents. Either way, there's no excuse. There's no excuse. The only thing is, when you're married, there's legal consequences for cheating. That's true, by the way, at least here in America. If your spouse catches you cheating, in America at least, as far as I know, then when they go to divorce, if you've got evidence for it, they sue you for the divorce, and they might come out of that entire thing a little bit better off. You know, maybe if the husband finds out the wife is cheating and gathers a lot of evidence of it, the odds aren't great, but there's a higher chance that maybe they come out of that marriage and of that divorce court, the wife not taking half that husband's shit, you know? It mostly seems to be a legal thing. That's when shit gets serious. But even then, in a lot of states, if you live together for long enough, I think legally you have the same, like, legal shit as being married. Like, I think it's if you live together for more than 2 years or 3 years, then it's called like common law. Yeah, common law. Like you're basically legally married at that point, because you're financially dependent on each other to some degree, and you've lived together and common law marriage is the term.
With its commitments, obligations, and expectations means a lot more. To someone who tells you that a marriage license is trivial, just a piece of paper, here's a good response. If it's just a piece of paper, why are you so reluctant to sign it? The answer, of course, is that
because legally, if you get married before you've gone through, like, common law marriage has taken effect, now if your wife wants to divorce you, there's a good chance she's taking half your shit. I'm sorry, but it's true, all right? Squad W's in the chat, okay? Flood the chat with Squad W's. But honestly, if you're like a dude and you're fairly successful financially, especially if you're more successful financially than your wife, and your wife decides to divorce you, she's gonna Thanos snap half your shit. I'm sorry, you're gonna get fucking reamed in that family court. In that divorce court, you're gonna get fucking reamed. You're gonna lose half your money, half your fucking shit. You may lose your house. Whew! You lose a lot of shit. Gold diggers? Not necessarily even. No, not even. I'm not even talking about gold diggers. I'm just talking about regardless of the motivation for a divorce, if it's just legally, like, I'm pretty sure legally, like, the woman is just going to end up getting half that shit due to, like, a court order. Because there's, like, a sort of legal precedent that if you're, like, financially dependent on someone for a long period of time, and then that relationship ends, you kind of have to give that person enough to be able to survive on their own to get back on their feet. You can't just especially if there are kids. That makes things very complicated, especially depending on who gets custody. And if the wife gets custody, then you've got alimony. There's a lot of baggage that comes along with marriage that isn't necessary to dating, you know? Is there a specific reason the pitch of Xanderhall's voice is so annoying and making it unpleasant to listen to? Anyone else now realize that? Well, here, I'll just go ahead and ban you. If you don't like my voice, you don't have to watch me. Sorry, nothing I can do about it. I fucked your mom. All right, let's continue the video.
That no one believes that it's trivial. Everyone knows it's the most important decision you'll ever make. So treat it that way. Here's a good rule of thumb. Think about the kind of relationship you want as much as you think about the kind of career you want. I'm not anti-career, I'm just pro-relationship, specifically pro-marriage, because when you get it right, that's the best relationship there is.
What does that even mean?
It starts with the first date. I'm Lauren Chen, host of Pseudo Intellectual on Blaze TV for Prager University.
It's so bizarre. This video, like, just made a bunch of weird, not really true statements and weird stretches and logic, and then really didn't make any point at all. Like, no argument, no actual, like, advice. It was basically, it's literally like if you're giving someone advice on stocks and you say buy low, sell high. Wow, Lauren, no shit. Thank you. Oh my God, Lauren, if I'm looking for a long-term relationship with somebody I'm compatible with, I should, like, figure out what I'm looking for in a relationship before I start dating someone? No fucking shit, Lauren. Whoa! Lauren, bro, that's so fucking revolutionary. How did I not think of that, Lauren? Oh my God. How did I not think of that? Jesus. Yeah, no, it's like nothing advice. It's nothing. It's bizarre, frankly. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and if you haven't already, subscribe and ring that goddamn bell icon on YouTube so YouTube actually notifies you whenever I upload a video or start a live stream, because if that bell icon ain't rung, YouTube won't tell you. You'll never know when I'm live. It'll be like you're not even subscribed to me, so go ahead and ring that little bell icon. You can also follow my social media through the link down below in the description. I've got a Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and a fan Discord where we do frequent watch parties of different shows and movies and whatnot. We recently just watch partied Loki, and soon we're going to be picking up on Breaking Bad and doing a watch party of that. I play it on my computer and I live stream it on Discord so you guys can watch it too. And my friend Ethan's never seen it before, so it'll be his first live blind reaction. And it's a pretty fun time. I just hang out in there. We hang out. It's a fun time. So join my fan Discord if you want in on that. On top of that, of course, if you've got the extra money for it and you don't need it for anything and you don't know what to do with it, you can always support me financially so I can keep doing what I'm doing because, of course, without your financial contributions, I would not be able to do this anymore. By either donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live. It is always very appreciated. Always, always, always. On YouTube by hitting the join button to become a channel member or super chatting. Becoming a channel member is a lot like subbing on the website or on Twitch, only for YouTube. And you get special privileges on YouTube, like in the comments section and in chat and whatnot if you become a channel member. It's very appreciated. And of course, you can sub, donate bits, Prime sub, or gift subs on Twitch, as well as pledge me on Patreon and donate through Streamlabs. However, any form of donation any form of support that you send me, whether it be a donation, a like, a comment, a sub, whatever, doesn't matter. I highly appreciate it. I'm really, really, really grateful. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.